the injury to Jaylen Waddle against Tennessee, I mean, it was a heartbreaker because he's a first-round pick. He's one of those talented receivers, one of the four guys who last year made up maybe the best receiving class that we'll ever see on one college football team. But he was kind of our punt kick returner. He was a great receiver. He's a playmaker, and he got his ankle broke against Tennessee. Just kind of a freak play. Tony, he is getting the cast off, and I don't know. I mean, am I wishful thinking? Because I'm starting to feel like maybe there's a chance we might see this guy again. Is there a chance?
I think there's a chance, but I think I wouldn't hold your breath just yet, right?
Oh, come on.
I think
Give me some good news here.
if they get to the playoff, I think that there's a chance, and I think really when you look at this situation, from what I've seen, it's more of a be happy for Jaylen Waddle because I think he's going to hit the offseason in stride, and so I don't think this is going to affect his draft status at all. I think he'll be able to show out and perform well in front of scouts and really show himself off. Now, I'm not counting the mere fact that we're even having this conversation is interesting, and it's a real credit towards Alabama's medical team. And I think anything's possible. Look, we've seen some crazy stuff happen, and just players returning. Look at Terrell Lewis and Christian Miller, how they came rose from the dead that season and both came back. So never say never, but I'm not. I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go betting on it just yet. I think it's a possibility though.
Kyle, do you have a nugget for us that Jaylen Waddle is going to be back this year?
No, I don't. I saw everything on social media yesterday or the day before, whenever it was. Here's my take on Jaylen Waddle. Look, I mean, I've always said, I mean, you guys have watched all our content right here. I feel he's the most explosive player in college football, period. I know a lot of people like Rondell Moore out of Purdue, but I just don't think it's the same type of guy. And that's just my opinion. Now, let me play devil's advocate here because I know there's a lot of Alabama fans that feel that if he is healthy, he'll just automatically come back. Okay. You're talking about a guy who's about to be a multi-millionaire and a guy that, if he comes back for a playoff game or two, how much is he really going to improve his stock, right? Because from the mock drafts that I've seen, and I'm sure you guys have checked out your mock drafts as well, I mean, Jaylen Waddle keeps floating anywhere from the top 8 to top 15. I mean, that's a lot of cash that Jaylen Waddle is going to make. Now, the other point is, and kind of how I look back at the Citrus Bowl, is when we were covering Jerry Jeudy. And Jerry Judy's like, why would I not play? And that's, maybe Waddle has that mindset. And I think, hearing him from the player interviews, I mean, I don't know Jaylen Waddle personally, but I'm just kind of putting things together that I think Jaylen Waddle, if he had the opportunity to come back, if he does make strides to come back, then I think he would come back and be a part of this playoff group. I have no idea where he's at health-wise. But like Tony was saying, I think Alabama has the best resources in the country. They have the new strength and science. They have Dr. Matt Ray. They have David Ballou. I mean, Nick Saban, what he's done at Alabama, these guys, this is an NFL type, maybe even better than an NFL type training facility that these guys have access to. First level, next level science stuff we haven't even dreamed of, stuff we're not even seeing. So, Jaylen Waddle's a world-class athlete. I hope that he comes back and he's even better than he was before. Will we see him in the playoffs? I have no idea. It's something that we're going to talk about every single week, probably, and people are going to continue to ask, is Waddle back? Is Waddle back? I would just, hope and pray that he does come back and he makes a full recovery. But if he is ready by the playoffs, I would certainly say that, we'll probably see Jaylen Waddle, but just we don't know just yet.
And Jaylen Waddle hasn't won a national championship. He's one of the guys on the team that hasn't won one. So that's an interesting thing to point out as well. How much is that important to him? So if it is a playoff race, maybe you consider that if he can come back and help win that national championship because he came in after. So just another wrinkle to this, I guess.
Is it still the case that every single recruiting class for Nick Saban has won a national championship?
I'd have to go back and look. Yeah, I guess, right? We're teetering, but yeah.
So it's been, I mean, they won 2 years ago, right? 3 years ago. So that'd be interesting. But there was a point, I mean, that every recruiting class had won a national championship, It'll be interesting to see if that's the case, but I'd love to see him win one. Trey, explain to these guys why he's going to come back, because you young guys heal faster.
Yeah, I mean, it's devastating that, there's, I don't want to say devastating that there's hope, but you don't want to rush this by any means. Like Tony, like Kyle are saying, this is a very serious injury. This guy's ankle. This is his moneymaker. I think there is a possibility. We've seen crazier things. We saw Jamar Chase last year, very similar situation, come back for the national title. We could see that, but if I'm Coach Nick Saban, if I'm on staff here, I don't think we do it. I just for his health and safety, like Tony said, hit the offseason in stride. Get as healthy as you can. If it means for the next level or if it means for another year at Alabama, but it wouldn't. I just don't know if it'd be worth the risk for Jaylen Waddle. That's a serious injury, and the rehab is next level. The program that they're putting him through, I'm sure, is above a standard even. But it's just too much to risk, I think, too fast. But it's crazy to think that there's technology that exists that, maybe gives us the possibility for that. And I think if it was up to Jaylen Waddle, he would, come back for even the SEC championship, because he's just that kind of guy. And I think he's going to work to get healthy fast, but I just don't think it's worth the risk.
All right, now that you've heard from the BamaInsider.com staff, we want to hear from you regarding Jaylen Waddle. Should Alabama run the table, win the SEC championship, reach the college football playoffs, which are scheduled tentatively right now for January 1st of 2021, and let's say Jaylen Waddle is healthy at that point, even healthy by the college football championship game, which is in mid-January, do you think that Jaylen Waddle would come back and play in the college football playoffs or the college football championship game? Let us know inside the comment box. I think when you look at it from many different perspectives, I think a large majority of the Alabama Crimson Tide football fans are going to say 100% yes. And as I kind of think about it overall, and like I said in this video, I look back to Jerry Jeudy, and he asked the media and he asked everybody, why would I not play? And that particular statement has always stuck with me. And that is why I hold Jerry Jeudy in a very high regard. And a lot of these players who have already created the value for themselves, not to dip out when their team needs them. Jerry Jeudy didn't have to play in the Citrus Bowl, but he wanted to because he's a team-first player. He already knew that he was going to get the big-time deal, $15 million. Same with Henry Ruggs. Those guys came in, did what they needed to do, and continued to create value not only for themselves, but for their team. And I think Jaylen Waddle is certainly a team-type player. We've seen that time and time again. So the more that I think about it, if Jaylen Waddle is ahead of schedule and he continues to work to get back onto the field, I certainly think that come the 2021 college football playoffs, should Alabama be there, that 100% Jaylen Waddle comes back and joins this team as this team continues their quest for their next national championship under Nick Saban. And I just want to get your comments inside the comment box, what you think about Jaylen Waddle. And I think a large majority of you are going to agree with my final point. Hey, thanks for watching our video. Be sure and hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. We appreciate you being here, watching our content right here on BamaInsider.com.